Yes, good evening everyone. Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. This is DTRS session, Daily Tucker Rapid Series. In these lecture series, we are discussing daily 10 quality MCQs based on the most important current developments which are relevant to our prelims examination. So this is class 31 and we will discuss the lead topic and the MCQ based on this lead topic, that is the criteria for setting up small finance bank in India. But before going into today's 10 topics or MCQs, we will discuss today's quotation. Every day we are discussing one quotation before starting the session. Today's quotation is by Martin Luther King Jr. We must accept finite disappointment but never lose infinite hope. A very good statement, and it is relevant to our day-to-day life also. Yes, online students, welcome you all, and those who are live, try to give your answers also, participate in the discussion, and you can ask any query that you have in related to your preparation, prelims examination especially. Now, we must accept finite disappointment but never lose infinite hope. A very good statement. Finite disappointment, yes, there will be some disappointment because of, let's say, if suppose there is failure in the process in your personal, or we can say that professional life, let's say you are giving this examination. So there may be failure at different stages, prelims, mains, or even interview. But one should accept that failure. A finite disappointment we are talking here. There can be failure when you are becoming IAS officer also in day-to-day life, or let's say delivering certain projects or implementing certain programs. We must accept that disappointment. However, we should never lose infinite hope. Now, hope is very important to live life. Can you imagine life without hope? सब बोलते हैं ना हम कि क्या होपलेस हो गया है, तो क्यों बोलते हैं कि कभी कभी जो ऐसे बोलता है ना कोई कि मुझे जीने की इच्छा ही नहीं है, और इस तरीके से जब डायलॉग में क्या होपलेस पर्सन है, तो मतलब क्या है, बेसिकली वन शुड अंडरस्टैंड द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ होप इन द लाइफ. होप इज द गुड थिंग, and why we are saying that? Because hope brings some kind of a ray of light in our life, positiveness, or we can say that some kind of urge to succeed in life, or we can say that some kind of urge to do something to achieve the goal in our life. So basically it is hope. ठीक है, तो हम बोलते हैं कि नहीं, one day I hope to travel to certain destination, one day I hope to achieve something in my life. तो उस हमारे माइंड में, जब हमारे माइंड में वो होप होता है, तो we try to move towards that direction. When we lose that hope, what happens is our life becomes chaos. We become directionless. And what is happening to many, let's say, young people in our country, youth, they are becoming directionless. That means they are losing on hope in the life. Okay? And then they start something, doing antisocial activities, or let's say they harm themselves by becoming addictive to drugs, alcohol, and this is how the directionless youth is, let's say, harmful for any society, any country. ठीक है, so इस तरीके से आप इसको लिंक कर सकते हैं. Fine? Okay, let's talk about today's 10 MCQs. So these are the 10 topics, and let's go in detail one by one. You also solve these MCQs. We can understand that, let's say, you may not be able to read all these simultaneously, and for that we have provided the detailed explanation of all these MCQs in the description of this video. You can watch, read that explanation later on. But yes, competitive environment is important in solving MCQs, and this is going to help you in the final examination. Okay, so yes, which of the following are the criteria for setting up small finance bank in India? Recently, RBI had declined certain applications for small finance bank by certain entities, corporate entities, and that's why it was in news. Okay, so small finance bank, as the name suggests, it is bank but small finance. यानी कि क्या है, इसका जो paid up capital होगा वो small होगा, ठीक है. Along with that, its activities will be also less, or especially we can say that it is catering to less number of people, less number of customers due to its small capital, we can say, small finance bank. And it is doing all the activities that the other banks or commercial banks they are doing here. So yes, criteria, there are 4 specific one more thing that I want to tell here, that small finance banks are basically registered under section 22 of Banking Regulation Act, Banking Regulation Act 1949. Banking Regulation Act 1949. It is also governed by RBI Act 1934, and along with that other acts like Payment and Settlement Act 2007, Deposit and Insurance Guarantee wala jo hai corporation wala, that is also applied for small finance bank. Fine. Now they must have minimum paid up equity capital of rupees 100 crore. This is correct statement factually. They need to have at least 25% of branches in the unbanked rural areas. This is also true. Now, they must be registered as public limited company under Companies Act 2013. This is also true. Now, what is the 4th condition here? The 4th condition is they must be in existence as an entity for 5 years. Thereafter, it is registered under that Banking Regulation Act. So, answer for this question is C. Right? Okay, let's talk about the next question. With reference to Central Water Commission, already UPSC has asked question related to Central Water Commission, Groundwater Authority and all. Okay, so yes, Central Water Commission, it is basically important, we can say independent autonomous organization institute which deals largely with the technical aspects related to water management in the country, especially large dams and the management of those dams, the technical aspects related to them. And yes, it works as attached office under Ministry of Jal Shakti. This is correct statement. It is headed by chairman with the status of cabinet minister of the government of India. This is not correct. Cabinet minister is big thing, no. Rather, it is ex officio secretary of government of India. Status of secretary of government of India. So we can say it is incorrect statement. Yes, Central Water Commission advises Government of India and state government regarding basin-wise development of water resources. One of the important function or tasks allocated to CWC. Yes, so 2 statements are correct. B is the correct answer. Fine. Okay, those who are online, try to have follow up on these questions also. Yes, भले ही मैं बहुत डिटेल में यहाँ पे डिस्कस नहीं कर रहा होगा, but yes, you have to read the explanation which is there in the description of this video. Download that PDF file and you can read in detailed explanation of these questions. Okay, fine. 3rd question about CSR activities, corporate social responsibilities. Yes, very important. And yes, we have to identify a number of correct statements about it. It is a voluntary practice where the companies prioritize enhancing their profits. It's completely opposite of it, right? They are not focusing on enhancing their profits here, rather they are focusing on their fulfilling social responsibility, giving back to the society. The we can say important concept that has been emphasized even by Mahatma Gandhi during the we can say freedom struggle movement. The corporate social responsibility talks about the responsibility of these corporate towards the society, environment, and that's why some similar kind of activities are done, especially related to environment protection or social upliftment, welfare functions. So it is incorrect statement. The specifics of CSR initiative undertaken by companies can vary widely based on their industry size and values. Of course, so depending on their profit values, the turnover, and along with that the amount of CSR to be spent, 2% होता है 3 years का total turnover का जो होता है 2% consider किया जाता है CSR initiatives में, ठीक है. So according to the size that 2% varies, no. So this is correct statement. Now the contributions to the Chief Minister Relief Fund or state relief fund do not qualify as CSR. This is correct statement. One should know that CSR qualification, which activities, which funds are, let's say, qualified to be calculated as CSR. And during COVID-19, we are aware that PM CARES fund was instituted, and the contribution to PM cares are eligible for CSR to be considered as CSR activity, but not for PM or CM relief fund. Remember this. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर क्या है कि second and third, again two statements are correct. Two statements are correct. Fine. The CSR provision is under Companies Act 2013. Companies Act 2013. Fine. Right. Very good image. You can simply use this in your answer. Mains का जो आंसर होता है ना, उसे CSR सेंटर में लिखिए, Corporate Social Responsibility. तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं आप कि environment का लिखा है planting trees. Thereafter it is talking about the health and the education, something like that you can mention there. ठीक है? Right. Now the Startup 20 engagement group. Yes, it was in news. We are having the presidency of G20 this year. In September we are going to have G20 summit in India. Regarding that, different, let's say, developments are happening in India. It is an official engagement group established under Indian presidency of G20 in 2023. This is correct, and as the name suggests, it is talking about startup. So it is trying to create an ecosystem for startups all around the world and try to have a forum where there can be discussion, deliberations related to what challenges that the startups are facing all around the world. And it is having three such task forces. One of them is inclusion and sustainability. Under the engagement group, India aims to promote startups working towards inclusive communities. Inclusion naam hai, so one can use that generic terminology. Both statements are correct here. C is the correct answer. Fine. Okay. Let's talk about the next question. Yes, recently birth anniversary, 121st birth anniversary of Vivekananda, and yes, we celebrated recently about his philosophy. Statement 1, he believed in that there is only one self in the universe. This is correct. We know that he followed Vedanta philosophy. He believed in Vedanta philosophy. He said that there is only one self, that is only one God, and yes, that God is omnipresent everywhere. Omniscience we call it. So yes, that is correct statement. He brought out the periodical and Brahmavadin to teach Vedantic philosophy. This is also correct statement, and basically the second statement is correct explanation of the first one. So we can say that A is the correct answer. So this is the new framing of question this year that UPSC has started, although it is similar to assertion reason type of question earlier that UPSC used to ask. Now next question. Now regarding carbon markets. Okay, so yes, when we read about Kyoto Protocol and the carbon credits in the environment and ecology section, we come across such terminologies. Let's talk about them. Carbon markets are trading systems in which carbon credits are sold and bought. We are aware about this. This is correct. Carbon market mechanism. This is the umbrella term for selling and buying of all these carbon credits in the international market. This market mechanism was established under Kyoto Protocol. Okay, so this is correct statement. When the carbon credit is used to reduce, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा clerical mistake है, typing mistake, reduce or sequester emissions, it is talking about. ठीक है, reduce or sequester emissions. It becomes an offset and is no longer tradable. Yes, offset and credit, इसमें फर्क है. Offset is basically when we use that credit somewhere in the developing countries, or we can say by any particular entity in the developing country, we can say that now this is used carbon credit. It cannot be used for further trading. एक simple example मैं देता हूँ. समझो एक carbon credit है. समझो हमारे यहाँ पे दिल्ली मेट्रो है, तो दिल्ली मेट्रो earns that carbon credit. Now if suppose that carbon credit is monetized or used by Delhi Metro, then it cannot be further, we can say, traded. So we can say that this is correct statement again, and both 1 and 2. Sometime later on, when Kyoto Protocol is in news, we will have separate question related to the 3 carbon market mechanisms that are mentioned in the Kyoto Protocol. Already UPSC has asked question in mains examination related to these mechanisms. So we should go in detail about that. ठीक है? So like CDM, joint implementation, clean development mechanism, all these are mechanisms, carbon market mechanisms. Right. Next question. Anemia can be caused by deficiency vitamin B12 and parasitic infections. We are asking this because this year in prelims examination, Anemia Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, this particular scheme was asked in the prelims examination. So relevant है इसलिए हमने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा हुआ है. Although health related aspects and biology, biotechnology, everything is linked. Anemia can cause postpartum hemorrhage. Now anemia is very important for India. Why? Because more than 50% of women in India are anemic, and that is problem when we talk about the pregnant women. Pregnant women, when they are anemic, they give birth to the children with certain kinds of defect, disorder. This is the possibility, and yes, there are always chances of death for mother as well as the infant. So that's why Anemia Mukt Bharat Abhiyan बहुत ही important है और प्री में पूछ लिया है उन्होंने. Now yes, anemia is basically deficiency of iron, and this deficiency of iron can be caused by deficiency of vitamin B12, vitamin A, along with that some kind of parasitic infections also. So first statement is correct. Yes, the postpartum hemorrhage is one of the, we can say, consequences of severe level of anemia. So second statement is also true. So here both 1 and 2 is the correct. Fine? Okay. Now, yes, Ambergris. Recently one of the sperm well actually washed off, dead sperm well washed off at the one of the coast in Europe, and that's why it was in news. The ambergris is basically one we can say waxy substance that is secreted within sperm well when the sperm well is eating lot of marine organisms, and to degrade that it is secreting within its digestive system such kind of substance, waxy substance, and it is also called as floating gold. It looks like gold. इसको एक term है floating gold. अगर समझो term based question आता है prelims में तो what is floating gold? Ambergris. This is the waxy substance that let's say originates in the intestine of sperm whale, and yes, it is used in perfume industry. It is having some applications, but it is very rare. ठीक है, बहुत ही rare substance है, and that's why there are concerns related to illegal poaching of sperm whales also. So A is the correct answer here. Remember this unique information. Fine. Ninth question about metallurgical coke. Yes, from geographical aspect, resources and their applications. Yes. Now metallurgical coke or coking coal जिसको हम बोलते हैं, ठीक है, what is the use of coking coal or coke? Now we know that in India the resources or distribution of coke is very less, and the metallurgical coke is largely imported in India. Okay, we don't have metallurgical coke grade coal in India. But yes, what is the main application? The major application is in iron and steel industry. It is used in blast furnace in iron and steel industry to remove the impurities that are there in the iron ore. ठीक है, उससे related है. Yes, it along with the iron ore and limestone is layered with blast furnaces to convert iron ore into the metallic iron. This is correct statement. It is used in iron and steel industry. Along with that, sinter plants and the foundries to reduce the iron ore to iron. ठीक है. So yes, blast furnaces main यहाँ पे आपको पता होना चाहिए कि it is used for heating purpose in blast furnace. Second statement is correct. And yes, 90% of total metallurgical coal production is used for blast furnace operations. That is also true. Large main उसका application यही है. So C is the correct answer related to this. Fine. Last question for today. It is related to Digital India Bhasini platform. Okay, so Bhasini is one such platform recently launched by our Prime Minister. It is related to India's artificial intelligence-led language translation platform launched by DST, Department of Science and Technology. So AI-led platform है. So language translation platform, and yes, it is good. Why? Because it is helpful for translation of resources from one language to another language very easily. It aims to make artificial intelligence and natural language processing resources available only to private sector. Only लिखा है तो जनरली क्या होता है, वो गलत होता है. Only to private sector क्यों लिमिट रखेंगे वो? Of course the government departments will also use them, so it is incorrect. Now it will help develop developers to offer all Indians easy access to internet and digital services in their own native languages. So this is good thing. Why? Because the developers, app developers, they require resources in those languages. तो अपने अपने native language में apps develop होंगे. Basically, it will help to reach all these quality resources to the local level in their own language. That's why bhasini language से related है ना, भाषा. So one can use that logic also अगर term based question आता है. So yes, only 2 statements are correct here. Fine. So these are all today's 10 MCQs. Any question related to this? Okay, fine then. Let us stop. Thank you.